Iowa Fireworks Farm is Iowa's largest fireworks store. 6,000 square feet of hand-picked fireworks, over 50 brands and 1,300 different products to choose from. But they're also family-owned and operated. Iowa Fireworks Farm is the one stop you need to make before July 4th. You'll find them just south of the Metro. Take I-35 to exit 43 at New Virginia. Head east and look for the Big Red Barn. At Iowa Fireworks Farm, the toughest part will be deciding what not to buy.
Eric Church Free the Machine Tour. Live at Wells Fargo Arena, Saturday, September 27th. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss with special guest Marcus King Band. Get tickets now at highvtix.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. For more, visit ericchurch.com.
Join us for the Murph and Andy Patio Tour every Friday, continuing this week at Westtown Tap in West Des Moines. Dozens of TVs, foosball and darts, and a full menu featuring smash burgers, wings, and local beers on tap. The party starts at 1 this Friday at Westtown Tap in West Des Moines with Murph and Andy and Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
It is Murph and Andy on a Monday. And Andy, I'm a little self-conscious here at the Hotel Julian in Dubuque.
You're just going to crank it up right there in the lobby. Just
what I have
yelling.
to do.
You're going to sound like a crazy person. They're going to be like, what is going on over there? And they'll be like, that man is doing a broadcast.
That man is.
Like, what?
They
can't be busy on a Monday, though, right?
No. It was busy here all weekend, and there were a bunch of baseball teams here. They come in for the Field of Dreams. And they play at the Field of Dreams, and they stay here, and this place was packed. But, yeah, now it's kind of emptied out, and we're going back to Des Moines after this.
Did you guys go by the Field of Dreams?
Not this trip to Dubuque. Last time we came over here, we did. We will go in that area as we drive home. We'll go by there, but we won't stop today.
I mean, there's stuff going on over there. I'm just kind of interested in how that development is going. I mean, it sounds to me like they're ruining the whole place, but I don't know. I probably should wait and give it a chance. But yeah, the plan was to develop it into a huge, minor kids baseball and softball complex with a hotel and everything, and really just try to milk the movie site for all it was worth. I know some of that got set back, but they've at least got that extra field that Major League Baseball has used a couple of times. So I know it will be very different from the last time I was there, which would have been, before all that stuff opened over there.
The last time I was there was for the game, the first game that was over there when Kevin Costner was there and everything. And that's one of my favorite experiences in my career. That was awesome. And it felt like they should just stop right there. It's not going to get better than that night, because my fear was it's going to be cheesy, but it wasn't. It was really cool. But yeah, now I don't know how they can keep that going, but it is beautiful over here. This is a great old town. I mean, I love it here on the river here in Dubuque. We've had just a wonderful weekend, and a reminder too of the reach of Iowa Everywhere. We have run into people everywhere that watch the show or listen to the show or follow it on Facebook. It's been like we're walking around Des Moines here all weekend. I can't believe the amount of people that we have talked to that have been so nice over here that live here. So it's been really nice to see the reach of Iowa Everywhere and of the show. It's been really nice.
Dubuque is a neat place. Yeah, I mean, it was a really important Iowa city back in the heyday of the of river traffic and that up and down the Mississippi, and it's got cool geography there, some big hills and bluffs, and really pretty views. That cool brick architecture down there. Those bricks, I'm sure, were made right there in Dubuque, probably. And they brought it back. I don't know when that would have been. Probably in the '90s. They started bringing it back and renovating a lot of those. The Hotel Julian is one of those places that got a major renovation, and I've heard I know you've stayed there a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that they did a really good job with it.
This is where the Fox baseball crew stayed when they were here for the Field of Dreams. They stayed in the hotel here, but yeah, it is beautiful. And Saturday we walked over to Gary Dolphin's bar, Dolph's, and Dolph himself was there. And it was so good to catch up with him, and we laughed about Hassel and all the Dolph stuff that he did over the years. And gosh, it's just what you would expect when he's there. Everybody was taking photos and talking to Dolph, and his bar is awesome. It is so cool, and it's in one of these old brick buildings you were talking about, and it's where the movie Fist was filmed. If you remember seeing that with Sylvester Stallone, it's that building.
Always good to see Dolph. Every day is better if you get to hang out or spend just a few minutes even with Dolph. Did you know that he was going to be there? Tell me you called ahead and made sure that he was going to be there, or were you one of those people?
Had no idea. And we sent him a video, and Jenny and I, and we didn't reveal where we were. We were like, we've traveled the whole world. We've finally made it. Jenny, can you believe we're here? And I pan over to her and she's like, yes, finally here. And then you see up to his sign, which is the microphone and his hair and glasses. So
you were like one of the people. You were like one of the people that calls Carlos O'Kelly's and asks to talk to Carlos.
Yes. Yep. Exactly right.
Well, I just figured he would be here. He owns this place.
He coincidentally was there. He's not there that often, but he was there because there was a surprise party, and his brothers and sisters were there. He's one of seven.
Wow.
6 are still alive, and his brothers and sisters were all at this party. And his younger brother is a radio star in Wisconsin, and he looks like young Dolph. He's a younger guy. So it was just a wonderful day there, and it is an awesome bar. So he did it right.
That's great. And I digress, but that's something we have to do before we ultimately hang it up. We got to sit down. We have to have Dolph and Walters together and just sit with the two of them and just try to get as many stories out of them as they are comfortable revealing. I mean, because those guys have so many good stories and just much fun insight, memories. I mean, you just have a few minutes with them and you'll get a couple of stories out of that. But I don't know. It's a privilege for us to be friends with those guys and just kind of have that close proximity to that access.
Yeah, it is very nice. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more. We have Caitlin Delivers, Clutch Spaun, and Cowboy Cody. All presented by Guest House Tavern, Northwest inspired Midwestern hospitality. Jenny, how's my volume? I'm very loud.
Oh, don't be all self-conscious. That's all right. They don't care.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, they are. There's some staring. All right. High or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
You can get your future in very good hands with one phone call to Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. Tim Hawkins is the guy that owns that place up there, and he's got a great team around him. And get yourself all set. Your retirement, get your taxes in order, make your money work as hard as it can for you.
Yes.
I am going low this morning. At the last time we talked, I was all excited about our date night. Kyle and I had a date night on Friday. We were going to a new restaurant in Des Moines. I won't say what the restaurant was.
Because you didn't have a good experience.
Nope. But you got to, first of all, you got to give everybody a second chance. You do. And I've heard really good things about this restaurant from other people. So maybe it was just sort of us or, our little bubble of time that we were there. And when you give negative reviews to restaurants, especially when they're just knee-jerk reactions, you can really hurt them. I mean, you can kill a restaurant. You can certainly kill it for other people that just read your review and they're like, well, that's it. One bad review and people don't go. So I'm conscious of that, and I'll take it easy. But we went to a new restaurant in Des Moines. I was excited about it. I'd heard good things about it, and we went, and we got there a little bit early. The reservation was at 7:30. We got there at 7:25, which is, not common for us, probably not common for most people. They usually get to the restaurant. If they're not right on time, they're a few minutes late. We were a little bit early, and we walked in and they were like, yeah, we are full, and we're not gonna have a table come open probably for about 20 minutes or so. And there was no room inside to sit or stand anywhere else. So we just walked around outside for 20 minutes, which again, you got a new restaurant. I imagine you got to give them a little bit of time to kind of get an idea of the pace that people eat there and the flow of the reservations. So
but you're off to a bad start.
Walking around, nothing to do. She's in heels. Not good strolling footwear. And there's no place, and you don't want to go to another bar and sit down and like just as soon as the drinks get there, they call and say, okay, your table's ready. And you go, oh, geez. So we just walked around. Finally, like 20 minutes later, I walk back and I look in the window and there's a bunch of empty tables. So we're like, oh, certainly they're ready to seat us. So we go in and they're like, yeah, there are 3 or 4 other tables that are ahead of you and they've been waiting for longer. And so I was just about to say, well, I'll tell you what, we will come back some other time because it seems like this isn't working. But they were like, no, but we're going to sit them and then we're going to sit you. And so it was really only about 10 more minutes that we waited. And then finally they sat us down. The food was, I thought, more expensive than it should be. And
this is rough.
Yeah, it was just, and they were,
How about the service?
The service was fine. The service was fine. The servers were doing what they could. The hostess was clearly overwhelmed, but it was a rough start, and that's tough because restaurants are expensive, no matter what. I mean, McDonald's is expensive anymore, but all the way up. Certainly, if you're going out for a nice date night, that you're spending $100, right? You're spending over $100.
Oh
probably.
yeah,
and you don't want to give a restaurant a second chance, right? I mean, you want a sure thing. You don't want to waste your money. You don't want to feel like you should have gone somewhere else. I mean, that's a really bad feeling. You feel kind of dumb, right? I mean, like it's your fault. You could have gone with an old standby, but at the same time, you want to broaden your horizons and try new places. And when you find a new restaurant that you love, feels like the whole world is a little bit bigger and better. And so you got to take those chances. But when you swing and miss, man, you don't want to swing again, right? At the same pitch, you want to just be like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere else. So that's tough, but
that's a low. And Kahala feels the same.
She did. Yeah, she did. Yeah. But we hit bartender's handshake on the way home, which is always a sure bet for really, really good cocktails. So we had a couple there and we went home. We still had a really good time together, but yeah, kind of a bummer with the restaurant.
I've got all kinds of highs, and including just being here this weekend. It's been so nice and been so happy. It's been a really battery charger here. It's been great. But I'm going to go with the high of Father's Day. Heard from all the boys, and that always feels good. I miss my dad on Father's Day. I'm sure you do too. You don't take that for granted when your dad's not there anymore. You do really notice on that day. But Colin from school sent me this T-shirt. Now that's a winner right there. Win, Rocky, win. So
that's awesome.
I love a T-shirt, and you remember this scene really well. It's like, yeah, there's something you can do for me. What?
Win. Is that Rocky 2?
What? Win. Yeah. What are we waiting for? Okay, sorry, Jenny. I can't do the full Burgess Meredith there. Then start the music and he wears the win, Rocky, win, and we get into the montage. It does take a long time in Rocky 2 to get going. I mean, they're in that hospital a long time. It feels
It's
like.
such a strong finish, though, that they actually start Rocky 3 with that finish all over again, right? And
Both going down at the same time.
Yeah, they show like the last 10 minutes of Rocky 2.
Yeah.
Open Rocky 3.
Yeah, which
really
seems
smart.
like a real cop-out, but it is smart. It gets you just completely charged up for the movie, and it kind of puts you, it like catches you up, and you're like, okay, that's where we left off.
Also, yesterday we stopped by, is it called Oddfellows? Oddfellows. Stopped by Oddfellows, and Andy, they had Rock'em Sock'em robots. And not only did I knock Jenny's block off, I knocked her. Boom! Yeah, look at it. I mean, I didn't just knock the block off the platform. That's how good I am at Rock'em Sock'em robots. Again, knocked her out of the ring. Did you have this game?
I did. I had it when I was a really little kid, though, and my thumbs weren't strong enough to push the buttons down, so my dad would just slay me every single time. He usually won all the games that he played with his kids, but he I mean, those thumb buttons took adult hands.
Yeah, they did. They did. That was just such a fun game. Some things they didn't improve on. Interact on YouTube. On X, it's Murph_Andy. Or you can just walk over to the Hotel Julian and say hello. Email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. And it is all powered by the Cellular Advantage, proudly representing U.S. Cellular since 1993 with 35 regional locations. And we passed a U.S. Cellular yesterday in Dubuque, and I sent a photo to Doug Eklund and said, "Is this one of yours?" And he said, "Don't recognize that one, not one of mine." But they're everywhere. He's got.
Is it still
35
called
of them.
Cellular Advantage?
No, it was
called
just a U.S. Cellular store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I guess
he
that makes
doesn't own
sense.
every U.S. Cellular store.
Yet.
That-
Yet.
He
Let's
would
get the
not
buzz.
associate with us at all if he was that wealthy.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
We've talked about it so many times here that in these big moments, Caitlin Clark delivers. When there's these high interest moments, and there was such a high interest moment this past Saturday because she had been out for 19 days, first time since her sophomore year at Dowling, that she missed a basketball game due to injury. So she comes back. They're playing an undefeated team. They're 9-0. The ratings have been down across the league 55%. So there's all this interest in this game, and she's going to play limited minutes because of coming back from injury. They limited her somewhat. And that 38-second span with 9 points, and a couple of the threes were like from 30 feet. Yeah. That was incredible.
Yeah, and kind of at a time when they just kind of had to have it too, right? I mean, the team had been kind of tail spinning and and really wants to stay in a championship hunt. They needed a win.
Yeah, and the 9 points in 38 seconds happened at a point in the game too where it felt like the Liberty might be getting away and pulling away.
Yeah.
And then it turns. The whole thing turns then. They end up winning by 14. She has 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. And we were at Dolph's for this, and not surprisingly, the place is packed. People are watching it on a big screen outside, and everybody.
A huge screen.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I can't even imagine what
Look
it's
at
like
the guy
watching
underneath
a
it.
Hawkeye game. Yeah, they're just
It's like a hamster.
I know. So the courtyard is full. Everybody's making sure the audio is going to be on right. I mean, all these people are gathered in Dubuque to watch the Fever and to watch Caitlin Clark, and it was just awesome. It was just so cool to see that, and she delivered. She did it again.
Yeah, absolutely, with a huge game. And there's, it's funny, the Caitlin Clark 3 is something that, everybody shoots threes, right? I mean, it's modern basketball, but when she shoots it, it's just a little bit, it's a lot more special. I mean, it's what you've paid to see. It's what you turned on the television to see. It's something that we've seen countless times and we'll see so many more times. But when you see one, it still feels special, and the fact that when she'll run, 2, 3, even 4 of those things off, where, she hits one of those. First of all, I mean, nobody goes into a game against Caitlin Clark thinking, well, maybe she won't shoot any threes. I mean, they're
Right.
guarding against that the entire floor, the entire game, but she hits one. The D is really tuned in now. Then she hits 2. I really got to stop. And then 3, and you're just like, okay, well, this woman is going to pretty much, have her will, do what she wants against our defense.
That's the why. Like when people are why? I don't get it. Like I don't. That's the why. Like those 38 seconds showed you the why, because no one else can do that. I mean, you also saw some of the passing and how she makes the whole team better. All of that was in play, but those threes in that span, that's the why. That's the thing that's different. That's what started it in college, and there's no one else like her. Let's get a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Of these choices, which did you watch most intently this weekend? Was it U.S. Open Golf, Fever vs. Liberty, Pacers Thunder, or Major League Baseball?
Yeah, you got your eye on Major League Baseball with that trade, I'll bet.
See, I had a weird weekend with the Giants played the Dodgers. That was a huge series. They were on Sunday Night Baseball, which I rarely get to see my team on there. And then, I had the huge trade. So for me, it is MLB. Although I watched some of all of this, I definitely watched the Fever Liberty more intently than I did yesterday's U.S. Open Golf or Saturday night's NBA game.
Yeah,
I'm Fever Liberty too. Yeah, that and that's a game that when Caitlin Clark wasn't playing, I forgot that the Fever was playing at all.
Right.
Well, apparently so did everybody else, or a lot of people.
Well, I mean, but I think a lot of people just chose not to watch, but it just goes completely out of my mind if I know that I don't need to, or I can't watch her.
We also watched the Pacers Thunder the other night, and it looked like the Pacers were going to take control of this series, and then it just changed in the final few minutes. We were watching that is it called Riverboat, Jenny? That place downstairs? Is that Riverboat? I think it's Riverboat. But that was good too, but I probably, because of that group outside watching that big screen at Dolph's Bar, I think I watched the Fever the most intently. Speaking of watching intently, we have the F1 movie premiere coming up. It's June 25th at the Palms IMAX in Milwaukee. And whatever platform you're watching right now, use the hashtag F1Palms, and AD will give another pair of tickets away at the end of today's show.
Yep, absolutely. Okay.
F1 Palms is the hashtag, and we'll have the Iowa premiere. God, that's 10 days away. What?
Yeah, a week from Wednesday.
9 days away.
I'm jacked. Okay. If you have an iPhone, go to your Apple TV app. I don't think you have to be subscribed, but they have what's called a haptic trailer for this movie now. And
what?
Yeah, plug in your headphones and just hold your phone, and your phone vibrates with the trailer. So like when you're in the car and when the gears shift, your phone vibrates, and it's really, really cool. It got me even more excited for this movie, which I was already excited for.
Pretty cool. Okay, we'll do that. Let's get back to the Pacers Thunder here. I don't know. I think I keep overreacting in this series, but it kind of feels over to me now after the Pacers didn't finish the other night. I feel like the Thunder.
Every time the Thunder has won, it's felt like this series was over.
I know. That's how I feel, though. I feel like the Thunder are going to win by double digits tonight.
I mean, I feel that way about both the NBA and the NHL, the Stanley Cup final at this point, because, yeah, I mean, there's one team that seems like the clear favorite, and another team that's playing has to play inspired hockey or basketball. And when that team doesn't play inspired, they just get run over by a more talented team, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, this is over. And then they do reach down deep, and they both may go the distance, but you still feel like Florida and Oklahoma City are going to win.
And it's I think the statistic is when it's 2-2, the team that wins Game 5 wins the series 75% of the time. So tonight's winner 3 out of 4 times will go on to win the series. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's coming up tonight. The U.S. Open, J.J. Spaun. Had you heard of J.J. Spaun before this week?
Nope.
He led most of this tournament, and he makes that incredible putt to clinch it. That was
incredible,
awesome.
putt.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think it was the longest putt of the week, and it was the one
Like
to clinch it.
64 feet or something. Yeah, really long.
And it's okay. He didn't need to make it. Like, even on the broadcast, they're like, hey, just needs the 2 putt. And he got to see, his playing partner kind of hit that putt right before he did. But you love when a guy just takes it and it's like, you know what? I don't need the 2 putt. Well, let's end this thing right now.
And he almost gave up golf last year. He just felt like it wasn't working, and he just wasn't as good as he wanted to be and thought he should be, and he stays with it. He keeps grinding, and he wins the U.S. Open with that putt. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. That was the highlight, and that played for everybody. That'll be the thing that everybody remembers about this tournament.
And I think it puts him under par, right, for the tournament. He's
does.
the only one.
Yep.
The only one under par.
One under par.
Oh. All right, Andy, you're going to like this. Here's some of the best news bloopers.
I'm so pale.
You're on it.
Today's snow is crippling much of the Washington lowlands.
Say their final goodbyes to this fallen Louisville police officer, D.D. Mangudu.
A slight chance of some it's rain. It's going to bring a possibility of some rain.
Well, the sign says that it's 4 quarters for an hour, but a quarter only gets you 15 minutes. Yeah. So if my math is correct, that's not an hour.
That's not an hour.
Not an
but
hour.
It is. And also,
a quarter 15 minutes. I just can't understand how something so small can be so impressive.
Well, Mark, you would know about that. Thank you very much.
Over the last 2 years, hundreds have landed in the Summit County Medical Examiner's office.
My brother used to break in our house and steal the TV.
But now he's dead.
Leave your pride bags, flags, and wear rainbow colors at Poggle Bay tomorrow afternoon.
Ooh, jeez, yeah.
Man, those some rough ones there.
Yeah, and I have been in that position a whole bunch of times where you just can't find the handle on the word that you're
precipitation in that case, yeah.
You just get lost in your own head, and then all of a sudden it hits you that you're live, which is something that I think a lot of people find incredible, is that we forget about that we're live and there are a lot of people watching, but you do forget about that. But every now and then you remember, and it tends to be at the time you don't want to remember. You don't want to think about it, and you just can't find the words. But I mean, there were times where I'd be doing the morning show. I'd be half asleep trying to read. It's 2.5 hours long, or sometimes I'd be by myself, and I would just be like, I'd feel like I was having an out-of-body experience where I was listening to myself talk, like sitting in the chair next to me, listening to myself talk. And then I would do that for a while, and then it would hit me that I'd been talking for 10 minutes and I had no recollection of anything that I had said.
Do you remember, like, the worst moment you ever had when you're reaching for a word? Or I remember the worst sequence I ever had. I was anchoring news at the time, and for some reason I just couldn't get the decimal point in the right place. I was like 100. It was an election night, and I was like 1,000, 10, 1,000, 10,000. For some reason I just couldn't get the numbers out, and it felt so like I can't even explain it. I got stuck, and I got, like you said, just my mind got stuck in that place, like this woman just did with precipitation. Just couldn't make her mind move it. I couldn't move past this mistake I kept making over and over again, and I felt so stupid. I had a hard time getting over it because I was on the air looking ridiculous, sounding ridiculous.
I've had so many. I don't know that I could come up with just one off the top of my head. I mean, just so many times. I've had, like, pretty much, I've never had a slip of the tongue that got me in trouble, right? Usually when I've gotten in trouble, it's been for something that I meant to say.
Yeah,
But,
that's true.
Where, the people that mess up MLK's name or something on accident and they get in just a ton of trouble. And that kind of stuff happens to people. I mean, it happens to all of us. Only most of us are not on the air when that happens, right? So it doesn't broadcast to all these other people. And you just kind of have to think. The first thing that you have to think is, okay, this person didn't mean to do that. That's that's a mistake.
Right. And I think we've kind of learned that if you go back to that word a second time and it still doesn't come out, you just move on.
Just move on. Just call it rain. Rain. It's rain, lady. It's not precipitation. Don't worry about that. It's rain.
Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence is where good things come together. And I saw Confluence labels and polls over here in Dubuque at various restaurants we went to this weekend. Of course, it's everywhere in the state of Iowa. What you got there, Jenny? Oh, thank you.
Are you having a beer on Monday?
No, it's Pepsi. Diet Pepsi.
Jeez.
Yeah, I should. Beer sounds good, though. But
are you?
I have to drive.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Have you checked out of the hotel?
Yes.
Did they just letting you hang out a little longer or what? I mean, I always feel a little guilty doing that. That sounds like something you'd feel really guilty about. You're overstaying your welcome.
I am, and there's a convention going on behind me. The desk is just right over there, and everybody can hear me. Jenny's a little embarrassed.
Well, good for you, man. That was a great line from A Complete Unknown when Johnny Cash is just wired on drugs, and he's talking to Dylan. He's like, good for you. Track some dirt on carpet. Track some dirt on the carpet.
Yeah.
And then he just
pulls our luggage in the car.
Pulls his car out and smashes into the car next to him and takes out a motorcycle and smashes into the other car. He's just wired on amphetamines and dope and just dope balls.
We had a decision to make. Do we drive home before the show or do we do it here and then leave? And Jenny was at the casino last night, so I just sit there.
Tired?
Well, yeah, it was late. It was a late night over.
Hey, this is free publicity for the Hotel Julian. You can see that from the highway too. I bet a lot of people have wondered what that place looks like, and now they can see it a little bit. So you're doing something for them.
Hey, also in the historic building where Dolph's Bar is, you know what other movie was made there besides Fist? Take This Job and Shove It, starring Johnny Paycheck. Remember that?
I mean, that's a 70s movie. That I was too little for that. I don't remember. That was something that probably came on cable that my parents told me I couldn't watch. There was that, and then there was like Any Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Right Turn, Clyde.
Any Which Way You Can after that. Yeah.
Sequel. Yeah.
I remember my mom taking me and like the Kopshas and some of the other neighborhood kids to that movie. I think it was PG, and there was a lot of swearing in it. That was another one I watched. I was probably too late to watch it.
Iowa Fireworks Farm has a $100 gift card for one fortunate person who loves fireworks. The Fireworks Farm is, of course, in New Virginia, right off the interstate. You look for the big red barn. And to enter right now, because AD loves this generator, it takes the pressure off him. Yeah, you just put the hashtag Iowa Fireworks Farm into whatever platform you're watching right now, and you are automatically entered, and we will pick a winner of a $100 gift card to the Iowa Fireworks Farm. And Andy, we like to have a little fun with this, where you quiz me, and I guess whether this is a firework or not a firework.
Yeah, tell me which of these is real.
Which is a real firework. Okay.
Matter of fact, tell me which of these is available at the Iowa Fireworks Farm and which is completely made up. Okay.
There was Vietnamese hooker last week.
Yeah, that you can't find that. Although Wade said he is looking for that. If he does find it, he's going to have it. So a gangbang or pyro slut. Which is real? One of those is real.
Pyro slut is real.
Nice, Murph. Pyro slut is real. Okay, so somebody is winning this card here, okay? Somebody's getting this gift card today because you will find Pyro slut. In fact, you'll lay a whole bunch of sluts down at the Iowa Fireworks Farm. Just for the heck of it.
Andy, if you could see the look on Jenny's face when I just say pyro slut way too loud here at the hotel.
Yeah, I can say it as loud as I want. You got to watch your P's and Q's. Okay, here we go. Which of these is real?
Okay.
Big Bong Theory or Oklahoma Thunder?
Big Bong Theory is real.
Also available at the Iowa Fireworks Farm. 25 shots, the Big Bong Theory. There's like no reason to name that. Big Bong Theory. I mean,
doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Just a funny name.
There's just a bunch of like weed-themed fireworks down there. They don't have like maybe they have a hemp wick or something.
Have you done a story where you went in and just showed all the names?
Yeah,
we need to do that again.
A couple of years ago, Kobe Gaines and I went down there and we found some stuff. And you will find some stuff, man. You're going to find, I would love to get a picture, somebody that just goes down there and just gets a haul, brings a pickup truck, fills
$100 will get you some fireworks.
It'll get you started.
Yeah.
You're going to want more than that, though. I mean, you make it the trip, man. I mean, in fireworks also, you can, it's probably not something good to say, but they'll keep. Just tuck them away in the closet there until next year. If you don't use them all, they'll keep.
I have good news for the Hotel Julian.
Huh?
I have good news for the Hotel Julian. We're going to get some more, which means I won't be talking as much. Let's get some more.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either Or Eatery and Patio is they are off to another good start here this week. They got a great patio over there, great beers on tap. You probably have the kids that are coming along with you as they're all out of school. Good news, there's a playground for them and a nice big wide buffer zone between you and them, and you can sit down and have a great time and get yourself the greatest bologna sandwich that you'll have. From June 17th to June 19th, there will be increased law enforcement on the road here in Iowa, looking for people violating Iowa's move over law, according to the governor's Traffic Safety Bureau. We hear about these, whether they're a first responder or a highway maintenance crew, a DOT crew, where they're working on the side of the road. I mean, I understand that it kind of comes with the job, but I don't understand how they're not just scared to death all the time as they're working right on the edge of the road, and there are distracted drivers flying by that don't move over for them, and they do get hit and killed every now and then. It's just awful, but this is road construction season. It's also just a season where people are out and about traveling more, so people have flat tires and that kind of stuff. But you got to move over for these guys. This is just something that you have to do. You would want somebody to do that for you. If that's your dad, your brother, your wife over there working on the side of the road like that. Oh my God, can you imagine?
And just occasionally you'll see a video of how close some of these cars come to these people working.
Even when they're like, it's pretty close, no matter what. You're within a lane of traffic from, a person standing on the side of the road and somebody driving 80 miles an hour. So like a bag of bones and meat and a giant missile flying down the highway. Got to be careful. In Murray, Kentucky, a man who goes by the name of Cowboy Cody has been arrested and charged with criminal mischief and second-degree assault outside a bar called the Blue Apple Bar and Grill. Cowboy Cody had been previously banned from the bar, and that night he was kicked out after trying to enter. Police say Cowboy Cody, who very much looks the part. Andrew, do we have a... Yeah, there's Cowboy Cody. He returned with a live raccoon, and he set the raccoon loose inside the bar and just let it, run amok inside the bar. And apparently it bit somebody.
Jeez.
This wild raccoon that's just scurrying around, jumping on tables, just raising hell. And Cowboy Cody, who looks like maybe he was taken to the ground by the police officers that were responding to the call and might have done a little face plant there. In the one part of his cranium that does not have a lot of hair on it. He is facing a number of charges now and is in some trouble. No word on the raccoon, if he was captured or is still at large right
Where
now.
were we when there was like a donkey walking around the bar? That was RVTV.
Yeah.
A horse or a donkey?
Somebody brought a pig to Ed, right? Wanted to bring it in the RV. I'm like, no. Yeah, but this guy just goes and has a raccoon on him, and he's got some way to transport it, and he brings it in. He's just like, all right, you not let me in? Let's see what you get. Now here's Bill Burr on Flag Day.
Then you got the giant pickup truck with the huge American flag hanging off the back. That's my favorite. The giant American flag off the back, like we don't know what country we're in. Like, just in case you forgot, you're in America. Beep, beep. You know what's funny? Recently I did a gig up in Canada, right? We landed in Calgary, and me and Kenny are driving to the hotel, and I saw a guy up there. He had a giant pickup truck with a giant Canadian flag hanging off the back, and I was so relieved. I was like, thank God. I thought only we had that fucking idiot in our country. Evidently, he's everywhere. Which is hilarious to me, because that means there's a guy in England right now with a giant British flag hanging off the back of a scooter, just riding around like, wah. Right, you're in London, you silly cunt. Meet me. Brexit, you fucking yank. Right?
I don't think I've seen that. Is that recent? I don't think I've seen that one.
It's got to be pretty recent because he's totally bald.
Yeah,
you
that's
can
true.
see the years go by on.
He
Bill
held
Burr
on
by his
for a
hair.
while.
Yeah, he did a little longer than he probably should have. From the bowels of Instagram, we bring you this. These posts that make me laugh out loud. Usually when I'm trying to be quiet. Does anyone else pack underwear for a trip like they're planning on shitting themselves twice a day? Where you're like, I'm going to be gone 5 nights. I better bring 10 sets of underwear. I mean, you do want, I don't know. I mean,
I always take one extra pair.
You want to believe you're going to absolutely change it every single day.
Yes.
And then if something happens, you want to be able to make a switch and then still stay on the daily change routine. But then if something happens twice, right. And then you end up bringing, 6 pairs of underwear and only 2 T-shirts, and it throws you way, way off. Also from the bowels of Instagram, as I was trying to go to sleep last night and couldn't get to sleep. This actually made me laugh out loud in bed in the dark while I was sleeping. It says, Gen X fact. We are the last people to know the struggle of calling a girl and her dad answers.
Yes.
And it just dawned on me, that's totally true. That was a major ordeal. When you were in high school or maybe junior high school, you're calling a girl, her dad answers. Like, oh my God. And why was the dad so much scarier than the mom? I mean, the dad should be on your side, right? I mean, he at least be.
That's his daughter, though.
At least he's on your team, kind of, right? I mean, it's his daughter. I know, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he does know that he's scaring the hell out of you, right? I mean, he did at the time.
I think a lot of dads like that. They enjoyed the intimidation factor.
Or maybe the dad's just like, oh my God, man, I'm never going to get rid of this girl. Oh, thank God there's a boy calling right now. And he's totally happy that there's a boy calling his daughter. Or maybe he's the other way. He's like, oh man, these boys are circling like vultures.
Did your parents teach you to identify yourself first? You know, like, hi, it's Andy. May I speak to Jenny? I mean,
they didn't teach me that, but I learned pretty quickly that if dad answered, you better be as polite as possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes somebody like the girls would have a smart ass dad. Did you ever run into those?
Yeah. Do a little stand-up comedy routine on the phone.
Yeah. Hi, can I talk to Jessica? I don't know. Can you? And you're like, oh God.
Or like my dad was a little bit of a smart ass dad, and so like if a girl called me, he'd like talk to her before, hey Andrew, and then he'd be like talking. I'd be like, Dad, get off the phone. You're ruining it. What are you doing?
Your dad,
I can see that.
Your dad's so jovial. I mean, he's so friendly that I could totally
exactly.
see
He's just trying to talk to him.
Yeah, by the time you get to the phone, the person's already said everything they had to say. They don't even need to talk to you anymore. Right. They've already told your dad everything. I just love that though, because the kids now they don't have that.
Yeah, you won't have that with Elin. I mean, you won't be.
I know.
Right?
I know that's weird. I mean, I guess
the phone doesn't ring.
She had a boyfriend in 7th grade, and he was really polite, and he came up and he shook my hand, and I was like, all right, here's where it starts. And but I was impressed by that. I thought it was really nice, but I was thinking, okay, here it goes, but it has not happened since then.
Do you have a landline?
No, we don't anymore. We did for a while when it was free. We had Mediacom internet. We don't have that anymore, so no. All right, finally, from the files of no shit, we bring you this. Losing focus can make the workday and everyday tasks incredibly difficult. The good news is there is a 10-second trick that can pull you back in. Neuroscientist Dr. Haley Nelson, PhD, spilled to Parade magazine that simply splashing cold water on your face will reset your focus. And that's all there is to it. She explains the act activates the mammalian dive reflex, which is an evolutionary response designed to help humans survive when they emerge in cold water. Emerge? Submerge? Basically, it kicks your body into fight mode. Losing focus can make the workday and everyday tasks incredibly difficult. The good news is there is a 10-second trick that can pull you back in, and that's splashing your face with cold water. Oh my God, man. Dr. Nelson. I can't believe. How much study did that take?
How much did it cost?
Oh my God. And that, your mom tell you to do that? Wake up, splash your face with cold water. I did that every single day that I was working on the morning show and I had to go into the radio show.
Without fail.
Every day, splash my face. And it's never pleasant. You're just, but it does work. Yeah, no kidding. Some of these studies, man, waste. That's your more, everybody.
All right, it is time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns, backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, an authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Murph, the U.S. Open is the one tournament a year that gives us a winner at or around par. Do you like watching golfers struggle through the U.S. Open?
Generally, no, but I think it's cool to have it one time a year. I wouldn't want this every weekend or every major, but I think it has appeal to do it once a year.
Yeah, I agree. And I for me, a casual golf fan, I appreciate the little things that make each of the majors stand out from one another. And, I mean, it does make them seem a little bit more human, right? That they're struggling.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does.
Andy, my Giants made a blockbuster trade yesterday, sending a couple of young arms to Boston for slugger Rafael Devers. Would you rather the baseball team you root for have great pitching or great hitting? You can only have one. Which do you go with?
Well, since the Cardinals haven't had it in so long, I think I pick pitching right now. Yeah, and it's just that's the thing that will. I don't know. I don't have the stats to back this up, but it seems like that's what will win you a championship if you've got a bona fide ace that you can ride, that can stop a slump or start a streak, and then you turn to him in the playoffs and you get 2 games out of him in a series. It's just that's great. So I rather have the great pitching. It also just seems like it's harder to come by these days.
I'd take the hitting just because it moves the game along faster and it's more entertaining. But you're right, the pitching is most of the time what's going to get you the championship. But baseball needs more action, so I'll take the hitting.
Yeah, in the playoffs, pitching becomes so important. But yeah, just the everyday. I'm excited to see this guy mash some home runs for the Giants. All right, Murph, which is more gross to have someone doing near you, smoking or chewing and spitting?
Ooh, chewing tobacco.
Yeah. Not like hassles, just chewing food.
Right.
Dipping that tobacco and spitting it into spitting it into a bottle or a can.
I think if you're watching them spit, if you can see that's a little grosser. The smoking I notice more because it comes at you and on you. But yeah, the spitting and then if it ends up looking like this, like the brown juice and everything, that's pretty dang gross. I'll go chewing.
Smokeless tobacco, if that's what we're going to call it, it is more disgusting, but smoking is more annoying. You can be sitting next to somebody that's chewing for hours and not even notice it.
Yeah.
But then you look over and when they leave behind like 3 or 4 spitters, and you're just like, oh God. And they always like keep the lid on it so it like no air gets to it. That stuff just ferments.
I know somebody at your fraternity house drank a spitter at one point by accident. I mean, that would happen.
I have the greatest story about somebody drinking out of a spitter. I won't share it today. It's
not a Monday story.
No, it's not. It's so bad. It's really, really bad. It was an accident. This wasn't some bet, some dare.
The chewing tobacco too, like when guys you'll like step up to a urinal and some guys just pull it out of his
and
thing
they throw it in there.
Like
the ones that are like
so
the Skull Bandits with those pouches,
those aren't so
they
bad.
throw those in the urinal. You're like, what do you think? Where's that going?
Yeah.
It's just going to
some guy is going to
somebody has to
out. Yeah.
pick that out of there. Throw it in the garbage can.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
Exactly.
Total asshole move. That's throwdowns.
That's throwdowns.
All right, that is Throwdown. Send your Grimaldi's fan photos to Murph_Andy at IowaEverywhere.com. Who do we have today, AD?
This is Bart Jones and his son Gabe. They went over to Omaha and checked out the College World Series over the weekend. That was also a pretty popular comment on our poll about what did you watch this weekend. A handful of people saying, hey, I was paying attention to the College World Series.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, John and Michael had it on in the sports office. It was on there.
All right. Well, it's a $50 gift card every Friday to Grimaldi's Coal Brick Oven Pizzeria in West Des Moines and District at Prairie Trail in Ankeny. We have a couple of winners coming up in a few minutes, but first, it is time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day, the AD Squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day Men's Health, taking care of men's health. I get my testosterone boost at the Ankeny location. You can go to the university location in West Des Moines.
Hey, I got something to tell you.
Yeah, please.
You know what? I am on TRT now. I started it 5 weeks ago. I did. I wanted to wait and see what it actually did so that I could give an authentic review. But I'll tell you how I got into it. I have two guys in my life, my close friend, Eric the Orange, and another guy here who is very well known, but I won't reveal his name, but he is a fitness expert from the Des Moines Metro that many people will know. They are both in their 50s. They are the two guys who are in the best shape of anybody that I know. And they care a lot about everything that they put into their body. They're very careful. They are both on TRT, and I didn't realize that. And I found out that they are. testosterone replacement therapy. And so I said, I had a lot of trouble where I would injure myself all the time working out, and then it would set me back. My energy was down. I wasn't sleeping there were a number of things that weren't going well for me that if you read the literature, the TRT literature will say that it can help this stuff. And so I said, okay, I'm going to take the plunge. So I went to the game day in West Des Moines, where I think most of you guys go to the one up in Ankeny.
We do,
Chad Leistico and I go to the one over in West Des Moines, which is right there on University Avenue in Clive. It's kind of hard to see from the street because Clive won't let them put a sign out front. So it just makes every building look like a bank. But anyway, game day is right there. It's across from the Hy-Vee there. And I went in, they were really nice. Lindsay, the nurse practitioner there, did the whole diagnostics on me and everything. I was real low, and so I've been on TRT, and I will say that I feel great. It is the main thing that has helped more than anything is my sleep. I can literally sleep for 6 hours, and it feels like I've slept for 8 or 9. It's helped everything else, that muscle recovery, the soreness, libido, that's a big thing too, and that's no small thing in the life of a 50-year-old man. But it's going really well. It's not a magic bullet, right? No. I didn't turn into the Incredible Hulk, but things are going really well. And everything I've read is that, you need to continue to progress into it. So it's going really well for me, and I'm very, very happy. So Game Day Men's
awesome.
Health, Andy's a part of that now too. All right.
Very nice.
I'm worried about being too manly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Growing hair on your forehead or something.
You go in there and the needle just breaks on your arm. They're like, nope. Hope you're good.
You already have muscles of steel.
All right. Rory McIlroy had a rough U.S. Open, as a lot of people did. This is quick and it's more visual than audio, but he spent much of the week getting upset and literally throwing his clubs. But he could throw 1,000,000 clubs and never have this happen again.
Oh, that was clever, wasn't it? Yeah. It's a trick shot.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Wasn't that cool?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's like, oh, sure. But yeah, he was chucking clubs left and right. He had a really good day Sunday, so maybe that works. But
it's been interesting watching him because when he won the Masters, many people thought, oh, he's got that out of the way. He's gonna start winning a bunch of tournaments again. But it turns out he kind of has lost some of his fire. He doesn't feel like training and working out and practicing as much because he got that thing that he had been wanting for so long. So yeah, it hasn't gone the way people thought. Quickie poll results are presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Of these choices, which did you watch most intently this weekend?
Oh,
I feel like pool.
Oh, yeah.
The U.S. Open golf tournament, Fever versus Liberty, Pacers versus Thunder, or Major League Baseball. The U.S. Open running away with this one. 41% of the vote. 26% say they watched the NBA Finals. Fever versus Liberty comes after that, and only 10% say they watched Major League Baseball, even though the Cubs are playing well this season. It's funny how that's happened.
Maybe that should have been baseball, period. Could have had the College World Series in there, too. Okay, AD, we have a couple of winners for the Iowa Fireworks Farm and the F1 Palms premiere.
Yeah, we'll start with the F1 Palms next Wednesday night in Waukee. Come see the Iowa premiere of the movie.
7 p.m. Wednesday night. Who's going?
Sam Everhart.
Sam Everhart. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Send me an email, Sam. Murph _Andy at iowaeverywhere.com, and I'll let you know what you need to do to join us. And now the Iowa Fireworks Farm giveaway.
This thing is cool. I really like this.
$100 in fireworks. I hope Iowa Everywhere doesn't win one of these.
Yeah, why is it in there?
Yeah, how are we in there?
Hey, Jerry Weiss.
Yeah, all right, Jerry.
And
Good job.
Jerry, email me, Murph _Andy at iowaeverywhere.com, and I'll let you know what you need to do to claim your prize. And thanks for playing.
Nicely done. Jenny, how is the audience down there? How much have I annoyed people? Yeah, I can't. Okay.
I think you did pretty well, Murph. I didn't see anybody with a stink eye going in the background. I mean, it was pretty empty.
It's pretty empty here.
It's good that that microphone blocks 30% of the picture.
I know it does. It looks a little. It's like I'm hiding behind a pole.
Yeah, you could hide behind it.
Well, we're headed back
Julian
to Des Moines.
looked nice. Yeah. All right. Well, safe travels, Murph.
Thank you. It was nice to be with you guys, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Right.
And we'll be back, Wednesday? Yeah, we'll be
back
back
Wednesday. And don't forget, we got patio tour stop.
Yeah, that's Friday, and we're at Westtown.
The Westtown Tap over there
Westtown Tap.
Westtown Parkway and Valley West Drive in West Des Moines.
Gosh, we have had such good weather for that. I hope that continues.
Going to be more good weather. It's supposed to be 90 and sunny, and they got a nice shady awning there. We will be underneath that if you're looking for us on Friday.
Well, thank you for being part of Murph and Andy, supporting local media here on Iowa Everywhere. Please like and subscribe, invite your friends to the party, and join us again Wednesday. We'll be back. We hope you are too.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.